Hello, hello. Thank you for joining Patriots Inside the Wire.
Giving a voice to the voiceless. We share the stories behind our freedoms and the ultimate sacrifice of those who protect us all. This is Patriots Inside the Wire.
Patriot is someone who was willing to give his life for his country and served honorably in Iraq.
Signed our names with no regrets. Only wanted to be the best that we could be. And we wanted this and nothing more than to be true down to the core. We thought we'd live forever, but when the full moon is bright and the wind blows just right, I can hear your voice on the wind.
I should have left it. I came back on the perfect day. But you know what? It's really more like
21 guns into the night till we meet again on the other side. 21 guns, this is goodbye till we meet again on the other side. Yeah, 21 guns.
Beautiful thing to see the family and friends come together and honor his life and his service to our country.
It's great to see you guys out here. This is awesome, really.
Welcome to the Patriots Inside the Wire broadcast, hosted by Gold Star mom, Tracy Two-Step.
Hey, how are you doing out there? It is Patriots Inside the Wire. I'll say it again. Patriots Inside the Wire. We are live right now on multiple channels. We have our co-host, Mr. John Swat, on board here. How are you doing, Mr. Swat?
I'm doing A-OK, Miss Tracy. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. I've been at Fort Hood. There's a lot going on, all positive, and so I am very happy about that and knew that we needed to get this news out. So I am glad to see you. I'm very glad to see you.
It's
Your
good to
name
see
came
you.
up today.
It's good to see you, and it sounds like we've got some breaking news that I think a lot of our listeners are going to be interested in. So I know we've got a special guest on, and I know she's going to be sharing that with us. So I'm ready for it.
All right. You know what? Listen to me. Everybody out there that's listening, do me a favor. You have to like and subscribe in order to pay attention to this, but also please share to your family, your friends right now. Grab them. We are about to go live and bring you in information. We want you to hear this. So I'm giving you those minutes while we chat. Please share this. Please invite others to join to listen. You do want to hear this. This is new stuff that is happening that has been worked on. It is for you, your rights, our service, our military. And it is Gold Star. This is not just for Gold Star families. This is for active duty. This is a big breaking news episode. Special episode tonight. We have been at Fort Hood all day. Fort Cav to people that I'm a Fort Hood. Sorry. You know I'm not PC. I just say it like it is. Right, SWAT? SWAT. We are going to have you play later a song. So you got that covered. And you know what? I just want to tell everybody, like, you're going to get some information right now that normally, you know, it just went out. And so shout out to Jodey Arrington. Let me say that again. Jodey Arrington has been involved in helping our fallen heroes. And what they are is active duty service members that were serving in the military who are no longer here. They passed while serving active duty, meaning in their uniform. They didn't choose to take off that uniform. They did not come home. The story isn't all about that, so pay attention, please. This will help active duty. This is something that cannot bring back my son, nor can it bring back our guest son, and that is PV2 Caleb. And I will be bringing her in, but I wanted you to know you're about to get some information that we are so grateful. Warrior Wednesday, like for real, this is Warrior Wednesday. There's never been as big of a Warrior Wednesday that I could think of, except for, of course, our loyal following. We thank you for being here with us. Right now, what I'll do, Swat, is I think we'll bring in the mother. This is the mother to PV2, Caleb Smithers' mother. Caleb, who went by Smitty, as I have a son that isn't here who went by Two Step. So Sergeant Two Step and PV2 Caleb Smither. I guarantee you put a picture of a side of the two and you're going to go, what? Like, are they brothers? You know, the hair, you're in the military and it's like, but the eyes, like you're literally like the jaw. It's very cathartic. We had a meet and greet at Fort Hood today, Fort Cav. All right, people. I'm still saying Hood. Just let's leave it at that. Listen, the meet and greet was just wonderful. And I say thank you so much to SOS, our Survivor Outreach Services program located there. Shout out to James. Shout out to that reporter that attended and that beautiful event. My son is a sibling of his brother who has fallen by serving active duty. So while on active duty, his big brother is not here. He got to go today to Fort Hood. He got to be in a room where people were just kind and meet and greet and let's talk and let's honor and let's put some things inside. There's a whole room. It's beautiful. Pictures. Now, it's a little sad. Should there be that many pictures and you have to have a building for it? Because we've lost 75% of our military that serve die non-combat. Meaning, other than combat on U.S. soil, when you take that oath, foreign and domestic, correct, SWAT? Did you take that oath?
Anybody who's ever served this country, we all take the oath, no matter what branch you're in, of course. And so we take that seriously, especially when we enlist. And, you know, it's one of those things that is near and dear to my heart and, of course, all the others out there. But, you know, it's near and dear to the family's hearts as well. So it doesn't matter where the enemy is, doesn't matter where we give up our lives. We give it up for our country, whether we're overseas or here, and it's important to us. And, you know, that's what's so important about the Gold Star families.
Well, thank you so much for that, SWAT. Thank you for your service. Yes, that oath is foreign and domestic. They didn't choose to take off a uniform. We just want everybody to come together and understand that we need to support each other. There is no individual in this world right now that I believe is a higher person than the other. That is me. My higher belief is here above me. My son is watching over me. That's where I go. I do not differentiate. This is not a subject that I believe that people should be, when you've lost your child, you should even approach them and don't say anything except something nice. So we include all, right? We have Patriots Inside the Wire is literally not even just military. It's police, it's fire, it's our border, it's canine. But listen, Gold Star Family Foundation is here for a reason. It is under patriotsinsidethewire.com umbrella. Multiple things going on. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bring his mother in. And I do have the clip that happened today. And so, again, please share this. I see your messages. Thank you so much. Bear with me, everybody. I've been at Fort Hood all day. And we were rushing to get back in here and have studio time. So I am just grateful. In Smitty check, Pay attention to that word. Hashtag Smitty checks. Everybody do that hashtag for me, please. And what we're going to do right now. Thank you, Brett. It is so great to see you on Warrior Wednesday. Please share this out there on X, tag, and let's get them in here. Sounds great. Thank you for being with us. Share it on Facebook as well. Brent, we can always count on you. And Phil Cook, Mr. JMT, and of course, Mr. SWAT. I appreciate it. I hesitate, and I'm going to tell you why. As a Gold Star mother and a Gold Star family, it's very different. It's a child. This is not something that I believe that anybody should ever cross that line. And that's my personal belief. Like, I understand we need to educate, right? And to do that, we have to fight to do that in order to get things in place in this country. And I'm not talking politics. What I'm talking about is people. We do have to stand up the correct way. And we do have to do things that need to be done to maybe update and educate and inform. I'm going to tell you right now, your politicians, and this is not a political show right now, your politicians may not know of something that is going on. And a lot of times you could reach out and literally go to them. And that's where I go again. Look, no person is going to be over another in my book, right? Always ask a Gold Star family, Fallen Heroes family. Thank you. And you're invited. We'd love to have you around, especially veterans. We like SWAT. SWAT to me, as well as multiple veterans, and I'm very, very grateful, is that unit, that soldier, that troop that's now got my back, right? And that was hard because we all want to do it right for everyone. Look, invite us. We're not going to cry. And if I was, I would step out. But trust me, you're going to love being around us. We are not broken. We have a hole in our heart and we are warriors, literally. So when we want something to change so that it doesn't happen to someone else, guess what we do? We don't lay down and cry. We get up and we fight. And that means sometimes you got to go and say, I think you're forgetting something. Can I educate you about this? And we're going to need to make some changes. There's a lot of changes that need to be made. One of those, we are about to bring Gold Star mother, Heather Hedge. I have known her for really a long time. Active duty before that, my son, Military Moms of Texas. I had done things for Gold Star families, but I was not one. When I became one, I met Heather, the mother that's coming. And so she is a part of Military Moms of Texas. She has been the VP of Military Moms of Texas, literally still. And I'm very, very grateful that we have the people out there doing that. So she knows what she's doing as far as us being able to talk right now in regards to her being with Military Moms of Texas. So with further ado, let's just not wait because you're just listening to me right now. And I want you to look and listen and understand why we are here. And then, of course, Mr. SWAT. He's going to pick a song, and he knows that I'm going to want to. He will. Let's get into this great news and bring our guest up right now. And it is, welcome to the show, Miss Heather Baker. How are you doing?
Hello, guys. I am wonderful. Thank you guys for having me here. This is incredible. Just inside the wire here.
Yeah. You're right. You are with us inside the wire, and we, like I say, got your back. Understand?
Hey, I got your mama's back.
I will say okay.
Yeah, man. That's what this whole
Yes,
Smitty check and everything is all about. It's just getting each other's back. It's
well, why
going
don't we
back
do this? Because I know your story so well. I'm going to let SWAT do a little bit here. I'm going to let SWAT ask you some things. And then we're going to get into, everybody pay attention, hashtag Smitty check. Smitty is a nickname, fallen soldier. This is something that's truly happening in a fight that, man, is it hard to do this. Laws and you name it. SWAT, why don't you, for our guest here, welcome to the show, Heather. We're going to have to get into what we're talking about when we say Smitty, because I know that I know, but others out there are not going to know. So SWAT, I'm going to let you talk with Heather a minute there and ask what's going on. So Heather meet SWAT, SWAT meet Heather.
Hello, Slut. It's nice
Hey,
to
how are
meet
you,
you.
Heather? First and foremost, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your service and for your son's service and everything that y'all do
Yeah.
as Gold Star families. Tracy reached out to us today and said that she had some breaking news, some exciting news. But we figured we'd get it firsthand from you. So, Heather, why don't you go ahead, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about your son, your service member, and what the breaking news is, if you don't mind.
Well,
Sure.
awesome. Well, hey, I'm just following in the footsteps and the light of my soldier and his service. And that's the reason I'm here as his mother, as to be an extension of him to the rest of his Army brothers and sisters. And now with the Smitty check being put into the language of the NDAA, we
Heather,
have
explain NDAA.
the
Our listeners,
National Defense Authorization Act, and
thank you.
we make amendments to this every year, during the markup. And Jodey Arrington, my congressman, who's been with me, since day one. It's been 4 years of a complete full circle experience with, this boots on the ground mentality, advocating with Jodey Arrington right at the helm. And then shortly after that, I met my attorney, Daniel Maharaj, and we have just been, trying to educate on non-combat deaths and what has happened to Caleb, what happened to him on base at Fort Bragg in 2020, which, just so you know, there's plenty of stories about what happened to him. But if you just go to your search bar there at the top of your screen, not just yet, but just in a few minutes, go there and just type in PV2 Caleb Smither. And there's lots of articles that'll pop up. We do have a website, calebsmither.com. He died negligent homicide and medical malpractice on base at Fort Bragg in 2020. It's tragic what happened to him. He was left after having a tragic accident, hitting his head on a trackline vehicle working on an M105 earth mover, otherwise known as a deuce. He sustained a concussion, and this is the abridged version, of course, right? But he was sent to the ER numerous times and was sent back to his room to die a very painful death. He laid in his room for 6.5 days, and after 6.5 days, they discovered his body on the 21st of January, 2020, sometime in the afternoon, around 2:30 in the afternoon, after he'd missed morning formation, morning PT, a doctor's appointment, and he missed work at the motor pool. And that's ridiculous, first of all. Why did he miss all those things? And yes, there had been a 4-day Martin Luther King holiday had been just that weekend, but there was plenty of people that could have checked on him, padding that weekend, and there were people that were charged to check on him, but didn't. There was loose orders given. It was just a really, honestly, very apathetic way to handle your battle brothers situation. He couldn't see. His blood pressure was getting worse. His fever, he had a fever. He couldn't hold down water, and the ER sent him home. And with, of course, what do you think? 800 milligrams of ibuprofen, just a couple other little things, something to calm his stomach, his tummy. Yeah, he was he was found in the 5th stage of decomposition, putrefied and mummified, and that's something I had to learn after the first week. After they kept telling me, after I was planning on a open casket wedding. Sorry, wedding.
It's okay.
I call it his. I call it
you.
his wedding. I call it his wedding. Isn't that
Okay.
but he's only 19. It's like we're going to celebrate his life. And that's what we did at his funeral. We celebrated his life, and we still celebrate his life. And this is an incredible way to celebrate and honor his life with a Smitty check, which is the Army's accountability check, new, straight off hot off the press from the Secretary of the Army, who found it really important to put that into her new Army policy. And without Jodey Arrington's help, we would have never been able to be heard on that platform. He was with me, like I said, the second day Caleb, I discovered his death. Jodey Arrington called me like 10 o'clock at night, and like St. Michael, just like coming down and taking care of me. And from that day forward, we inquired on numerous different things. First off, the Army was telling me that he couldn't be home for 3 weeks, which was a question mark. And so Jodey was able to get him home sooner. And then from there, we learned that his body was too decomposed to be viewable after a whole week. There are many other egregious things that we're working on. I mean, I wasn't called by the command. I had to start calling the base myself after being notified. After almost a week, I was actually finally gotten back to by his colonel at the time. And it's just just a lot of egregious things that happened in Caleb's case, to really make him the ultimate left behind in my eyes. I know I'm sure there's worse horrible things, but it's a very sad situation when your Army creeds and your your NCO creeds, your Army values, right, are built around taking care of your soldiers and also protecting life at its highest level, is like, I mean, foreign or domestic, right? Like, whether you are a civilian or you are a comrade overseas or what have you, like, just the idea of basic life, human kindness is a piece in this puzzle here. And when I was speaking to the Army Secretary and our Inspector General, both of those ladies agreed that it is very difficult to teach that human kindness, but that it's something that is important at the highest level of the Army. And they want to show, like, mother lionesses, these ladies I don't know if you know, but our Army Secretary is Christine Warmuth, and Don E. Martin, our Inspector General, both women. And I told them, I said, I'm very honored to be standing here in this circle with these women that are just, like I said, taking our Army and activating it, protecting it, and making sure that we are, we've checked in every level so that they can do their job on foreign soil or domestic, right? And we know that their job, really, a lot of it is on the domestic soil, and so there's just no reason for our service members to die such tragic deaths when it's just as easy as checking on somebody. And so I'm so grateful for this MIDI check. There's a story that was told to me at his memorial, Caleb's memorial at Fort Bragg. A young lady who had served with Caleb over at Fort Leonard Wood, and she was in leadership above him at the time. And whenever he got sent over to Fort Benning for airborne school, it was nice to see her familiar face. Both of them just recognized each other from having been over at Fort Leonard Wood. And anyway, they picked up, their training as in airborne. And they're on the last run. She came up to me in Caleb's memorial in tears, and she said, I owe your son my airborne wings. And I was just like really stunned by that and taken back by it. But she was really emotionally charged about it. And she began to tell me the story of, basically what I've been telling you. And then she further said that their last run up that hill in training, and if you don't if you don't make the run and you're in, all of your gear and everything, then you're cut from airborne school, and that's it for you. And Caleb could sense that they were in the back of the formation as they're running, um, and sensed that she had stepped out of formation, and he looked back, went back and grabbed her, put her up in front of him in formation, and he put his knuckles in the back of her backpack, and she said every time she would lose momentum that she would feel um, that push, and he did tell her, he said, don't quit, ma'am, don't quit now, ma'am, you've got this. And that's just like, if I could reflect a better picture of what the Smitty check is all about, it's a link of human kindness and compassion, but it's a simple check, running back and making sure that your battle brother or sister is well accounted for and taken care of. And it's just so easy, especially if your unit is 8 to 10 people. It should be a no-brainer. Whether you live on or off base, if somebody is not picking up their phone, if they're not responding on some sort of electronic device and you can't get a hold of them, you need to go do a face-to-face check. So I'm super, super excited for Caleb because Caleb loved the Army so, so much. He loved his community. He was a part of so many different demographics of people at his high school, which was the only high school in Wolford, Texas. And so everybody knew him, and he was just, there were so many people that just like shared with me that he was super kind, genuinely super kind. And people still stop me today. I was at Sonic not too long ago. This young lady, she's like, I was having trouble with the automatic order thing, and she came out. She's like, "That's okay, ma'am. I'll come out and help you order." And I was like, "Thank you." And I have this little picture of Smitty inside my truck. And she looked around and she saw that picture, and she goes, "Oh my God, Smitty!" And she's like, "You're Smitty's mom, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." And she was like, "He was this kindest young man at school, and he was so respectful and sweet, and he was so nice to all of us different folks." So it's just remarkable to like, I think it's just partly his age, because I don't feel like he's different than any other of our amazing patriots out there, and our kids, our families, that we give our best to this nation. And he's no different than everybody else's kid. And I'm sure that there's so many that would say the same thing about your kid. But it's just that picture of taking care of what we have, the fabric of America, and supporting it and loving it and cherishing it, and like, just at the bare bones, just having that human kindness. How do you instill that? Well, you have great commands out there that are rocking it. Let's go, Army. Let's show these other peeps
Get Army
like
here.
what's up. Okay? Because that is not how we roll. We don't leave a man behind in the Army. That is not how we roll.
That's right.
And
Yes, ma'am.
so
No, you know what?
I'm like, step up and show I need all these amazing commands to step up and show everybody else how it's done. Because I know that you guys are out there, and you're this whole experience is giving me hope for humanity. And I'm excited for the Army. I'm excited for our military in general, because the Smitty check, with this written into the NDAA, will push it out DOD wide, which is incredible.
Yeah.
So,
it's so great, Heather. Well, first and foremost, and I know Tracy knows I feel the same way about her, but, we are so, so sorry for your loss. It sounds like not only, of course you lost, your child. But it sounds like, the Army and the military in general lost out on a great soldier. I mean,
Absolutely.
he sounded like one of those people that is exactly what you said. He was the embodiment of what a soldier's supposed to be, what the military's supposed to be. Like you said, you look out for each other. That's why we have the battle buddy system. When I was
That's right.
that's the very first thing that we always did was we always checked on our battle buddies, and not just whoever was assigned to you, but all of your friends. Like you said, they're not just friends; they're brothers and sisters. And just like the story you told that about his friend when they were in the airborne, and he pushed her. It just sounds like he was literally the embodiment of what a soldier and a leader and what this military is supposed to be. And
Right.
it's just when we hear those stories, and then of course what happened, it's just tragic. And it's unfortunate from what you've told us that other people didn't take the inspiration from what he showed them, the example that he put forth, and give him the same respect. And so I just want you to know that from the bottom of my heart, our of course our support and our love go out to you. But just I guess from what I'm hearing, that's exactly what the Smitty check is all about. I mean, it's him. It's what represented him as a not just a soldier, but like you said, as a human being. And it's the embodiment of what you would want everybody to do for you. Tracy and I talk about it all the time. It's kind of that golden rule. You treat everybody the way you want to be treated, and it sounds like it's exactly how you raised him.
Right. It's the golden rule, right? And it's what happened in his case was shirking responsibility. And when you look at the NCO creed, it talks about how important you should and valuable your soldiers are. That's the most important thing, is to make sure that they're taken care of and okay. And it's just so simple to check on somebody. And it's like when we go overseas, isn't that the face that we want them to see too? The people that we're trying to take care of, do we want them to see that the level of human kindness? And so, yeah, we don't always get to, our heroes don't always get to know or choose how they become a hero. But if I could have asked Caleb, if he would have been asked, would you die for your country in this way, knowing that, countless lives could be saved because of your sacrifice, I know that he would have said yes. As tragic as his death was, I believe that his heart would have said yes. It's sad that he had to die this way. His I have right here his goal sheet in his own handwriting. This is what he signed the day he went to Fort Bragg, November of 2019, and because I dropped him off at the airport on Thanksgiving Day, 2019.
Heather, will you show that again? Can you show that again? I've zoomed in to everyone here.
I'm going to read it to you.
She's holding a piece of paper there, and that is written by PV2 Caleb, nicknamed Smitty. And there, I wanted to zoom in on that.
Here's his, it might be flipped weird in the camera, but here, I'll just read it.
There you go. Thank you.
It says, he says his goals are Hotel 8, Air Assault School, Ranger School, Sapper School. And he says he wants to learn to be a better mechanic. But this is his goal that I love the most. It says, learn and continue to become a better soldier. So at the bare base, what was his foundation? To become a better soldier. And let me tell you something about Smitty. Every time I was talking to him on the phone, he was singing one of the airborne songs, or he was chanting and repeating and memorizing the creeds and the values.
Yeah.
Yes. all of the
Okay.
teams, and he was in it, and he was so excited. He was on standby to deploy, but and he was so thrilled. But that also means that they were working overtime in the motor pool, and a lot of careless accidents can happen. Now, uh, we're not sure exactly how he got meningitis. We're still trying to work that out. We're not quite sure how how the meningitis and the head injury are correlated. That there's still some debate on all of that. So there's still so much in his case that there's so many layers to Caleb's case. But this right here, right now, with Jodey Arrington doing these two amendments, let me talk to you guys about the second amendment that that he is written into the NDAA, and it requires the Department of Defense to disclose on medical records whether a service member receives care from a DoD doctor or civilian doctor. And what happened in my son's case is that now through the State School Act, you can file a medical malpractice claim, whereas the Ferris Doctrine blocks you from any kind of justice otherwise. So if you have a service member or a veteran who has been injured, and you can file this medical malpractice claim if need be. But what happened in Caleb's case is they denied his claim because an independent contractor was involved, and they said that through the State School Act that it barred that payment through of a claimant because of if there was a civilian doctor involved. And so they told us that, of course, past the statute of limitations. And so there was nothing that we can do about justice that way.
Well, it's also very redacted, literally, Heather. Like,
oh yes,
anything you received was heavily redacted. So
everything.
the civilian world.
We do know the name of this independent contractor. We do have some knowledge of that. They disclosed that, but they disclosed it a good time after the statute of limitations had run out.
Right.
So this amendment protects families from having that. It's a loophole in the State School Act, and so luckily we have Jodey Arrington, who is Mr. Boots on the ground, and he's spearheading this whole thing, and he is like, this is ridiculous, and no, and he just him and his amazing staff, they're both in Lubbock and in DC, have really gotten into the story, fought on their territory in their way. By a lot of it is just education. We can't get mad at people if they don't understand or if they don't know. And so a lot of it, if maybe I can't get to the ears of certain people, but he can. And so we just work together to make it happen for everybody. This is for everyone. I cannot bring Caleb back. There's nothing I can do to bring Caleb back. So this is not for Caleb. This is in honor of Caleb. This is not for Caleb. This is for all of our amazing service members and their families. This is for you. And this is for our veterans. This is also I love you guys so much. There's a lot we can do together. And let me know what I can do to help. How can I support you? I'm here to speak. I'm here to speak and positive about our military, and we're excited to be able to speak positively. And let me tell you something. It's remarkable it's full circle miracle what is happening, and we could have only done this with Jodey Arrington.
So how did you?
We can only do this with the Secretary of the Army and our Inspector General.
She literally is working with the Secretary of the Army, and IG, you name it, and SWAT. There you have a question. So Finish that, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Heather. I wasn't trying to interrupt you. I know you're right in the middle of your thoughts. I was just curious. How did you and Jodey Arrington kind of, get together, link up? Did he reach out to you first, or was this something you were
Um,
working on? Or
Can you
well,
first
I'm,
say who Jody is? For everybody listening out there, Jody Arrington is Representative Jody Arrington.
yes,
I'm going to show him right here.
Congressman Jodey
Here,
Arrington.
Congressman Arrington right here is in this picture with Caleb right there. That grin, that dimple in the chin, that beautiful boy in the
And
military with his mama. That is Jody Arrington. So we want to say thank you to him. Go ahead, Heather.
well, I mentioned before that Caleb had I found out he had passed away on the 21st, and several days later, about 2 days later, Jody Arrington called me around 10 o'clock at night, helping me get Caleb home sooner. He had been we'd been told that he wasn't going to be home for 3 weeks, and so they would be able to get him home for 3 weeks. And we, some close friends, Caleb's girlfriend, her dad, Mr. Wilkes, Wade Wilkes, he was like, this doesn't sound right. So he's like, hey, I'm gonna get Jody Arrington on the line. And so luckily, Jody gave me a call a couple days later and told me he was gonna help me get Caleb home. And he did. They started, I can't tell you, we were talking about how many requests they have sent. The Secretary of the Army, just over the last 4 years, just asking, for help, requesting, like things like Caleb being home sooner, trying to help with that. Just like FOIA requests. They've helped me with just following through with FOIA requests. We had Caleb's final meeting with the military in Jody Arrington's office in Lubbock, Texas. The folks from Fort Bragg, they flew out and they gave me his they call it the final review. My TAC officer, my casualty assistance officer, my attorney, Daniel Maharaj, both escorted me. My brother-in-law was there, and I had a veteran friend who joined me on my side of the table. And then we had all of them, the folks who had visited me to give me that final review. So we had people from Womack Army Hospital. I requested for them to be there. There was a colonel that showed up. Jag was there. Like there was a lot of questions, and so Jody was able to facilitate that and just help us, like, by providing us a space. And Mackenzie Hammond, one of his assistants, was there to help us. And I mean, like, he's just done so much for us over the years. And just by listening to me, my attorney, Daniel Maharaj, who has helped me just put everything in a legal sense and helped our Congress and our Senate to understand, just to help me in the educational part, help them to understand what's going on. From an attorney's point of view, it just makes things so much smoother after reading all the investigations and creating abridged versions of investigations. And, I mean, I've been a stay-at-home detective, just like Tracy. She's, we are our best investigators. And I'm grateful to have an attorney that stands by my side and does a lot of work with me and for me. But I do a lot of the heavy lifting myself. And I mean, I've seen Caleb's autopsy photos. I've seen his death scene photos. I jumped in there 100%. I mean, it's my son, and I'm not going to let anybody lie to me about it. And I'm not going to sit over in Lubbock, Texas, picking my teeth with, tumbleweeds, and eating bonbons, like I can't see what happened to Caleb and then be as a 21-year veteran teacher, put the seal of approval on all my students going over and serving when they're ready. I can't with a good conscience, like, support my students. Now I feel like I have created a little bit of a safety net for my kids. I'm an elementary teacher, and so like I just, like my kids are my life, the lifeblood of America, the fabric of America. They're, like I mentioned before, they're no different than my son. We have this utopian world uh, mindset of our military and patriotism and everything, and that that world was kind of ripped away from me, off my eyes. The reality, the Band-Aid was pulled, so to speak. When Caleb died a non-combat death, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like I knew, I mean, you don't know anything when they first tell you, and it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And they didn't know what happened to him. So for a whole 9 months, I'm in like what happened to Smitty world in my brain and heart. And you just hope that I mean, that you'll find out like really what happened. And it's just been a lot of more, one answer leads to 10 more questions. And as you read the investigations and there's been like 3 investigations, the CID investigation, 15-6 investigation, and line of duty. And then they just opened a new one, the Inspector General, thank God. And they discovered so many problems. And it's just all about accountability. And these ladies, they owned it. They said, okay, yes, that's terrible, and I'm sorry. The first thing the Secretary of the Army said to me was, I am so sorry that the Army failed you and your son. And I said, ma'am, I needed to hear you say that. And she told me that right there in her office, standing at the Pentagon. And I mean, I almost fell to the floor, because those are just like words that I needed to hear. There's so much more like that we have going on. Our lines of communication are open. She wanted to assure me that the lines of communication are open.
Well,
There's just a lot of good stuff happening, and I feel good about it for our whole Army, for our military in general, because we're letting the Army lead the way on this.
And that's what's so
Glory.
important
Jody.
about it, Heather, is that, and Tracy knows better than anybody, and, I've served, but, the thing is that you put your life on the line for this country, and you voluntarily give up, certain freedoms and certain rights, because you want to protect those, just like Smitty, you wanted to protect everybody around you. And so you would think, just like you said, that giving up those rights and doing it voluntarily, that you're entrusting, not just your life, but like you said, the respect and the vulnerability, to the military. And, I'm very unfortunate that they didn't extend the same respect, like you said, back to him. They failed him, especially everything that he gave up for the country, and that not just him, but you've given up for the country as well, your family. And that is so important, and it's so great that we do have people on board that understand that. Just like you said, the Secretary of the Army, who completely gets that from not just a military perspective, but like you said, from a human being perspective.
Well, and she's a mom,
Exactly.
and both of these ladies are moms. So I just think that there's, I think that link of human kindness, and it's that missing link, and this is their way. This is Caleb's way of reaching back through time to make sure that his battle buddies are taken care of for all time.
Absolutely.
So we know that the Army's already done it, and they've put it into Army policy, and they put it into their educational platform, which is incredible, so that we can teach on, the drastic things that can happen if you don't check on someone, and why it's important to teach and train on that. And I love the language that they're going to be using, the Smitty check, and it's everybody. I feel like everybody loves the Smitty, and like there's Smitties in every branch, like. I don't know. I know a couple great Smitties that are on the civilian side of things too, and so I just think we all as a society, and especially our veteran population, we need to be doing Smitty checks. Smitty checks are so important, whether you are in active duty or you are a veteran, and we need our families to know about the Smitty check because we need to be doing that for each other.
We really do. That was a great one there. So Heather, I know you very well, so I never say sorry. I say it sucks.
Yeah.
And you, that I know what you have in your lap right there. You have a binder. And so we're using a lot of terms that military understands, but our civilians, we want you to understand. So FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, you can go there to get your information because it is heavily redacted. That's a resource you can get to get some information. You have to fill out the forms. It is available out there. You can go to that. So I'm trying to get the certain terms to our civilian world to understand what it is in regards to why
Yeah.
do we need the Spitty
Oh my
check?
gosh.
Number one, if you have not heard from someone, and listen, I'm going to go further. If I haven't heard from someone that's literally my brother, sister, like somebody I see all the time, and it goes on, like, why hasn't someone checked? Like,
Yeah.
there's already things there, but what happens is things just get put on the wayside, right? So, and it's something that unfortunately you got the knock on your door, I got the knock on mine. And it's just like in the movies, folks. It's horrible. It's exactly what you would think. Crawled up in that corner saying, You got this wrong. You've got this wrong." Um, and so Heather, what I want them to know is so Smitty, and we'll get to something in a minute that I'd love to know. Smitty checks. Smitty checks are going to go in, and we are going to make sure that our brothers and sisters in arms are well. We are going to do what I call well checks. And it's Smitty checks, is what it is. In a minute, I'm going to zoom in on something. But we need to have people who are going to check. Why aren't they here? Why haven't we heard from someone? I mean, in life in general, I'm just like, that's common sense, right? But if you're at a base, any base, and you're serving, you're going to notice somebody's not there. Trust me. They notice if you don't show up and you don't do your PT or anything, you're in trouble. So it's so hard to believe. I know that people are out there going, well, I think they already kind of checked. I know. It's the same as mine. It's just a
Right.
fact. They all assume. I'm like, nope, there is no check for a driver's license at a rental agency. Just like Heather is saying, well, yeah, it's there.
Yeah. It's a
Supposed to be done.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
It seems
And
like
that's
a
what
kind
it
of
is.
like a dumb moment, but
Right.
in
And
this
it's
day and
been
age, the
slept.
thing is here's the deal, is I've been teaching for, like I mentioned before, 21 years, and not all of our students have the same families. They're not all raised the same. And guess what we do? They graduate, right? And they go straight into college or the working force or the
Or the
military.
military. Yeah.
And a lot of them get scooped up that way. And are they ready to be away from their families? Are they ready? Hey, break away, right? Boot camp, all the things, grow up. Okay, well, there's a lot going on there. A lot of our kids haven't ever been supported in certain ways. They have emotional scars, injuries already. They've been babysat by this technology their whole life, especially now. We have kids that have been babysat by technology their whole life, and they're going in, and that's all they do is they're on their social media platforms all the time. I mean, Caleb was too. Like, he was really big in with the Snapchat, and so
That's one I've
it's
never
we
used, I
have
can tell you.
it's a like it's kind technology has become, it's a really great thing, but also is can make things
Desensitized.
very challenging,
Yes.
and so yeah, like there's a lot of it's like, as far as this what happened to Caleb, a lot of people are just super, I mean, most people are super shocked by it, because why wouldn't somebody check, you know? It makes no sense at all. But sometimes it takes, if it happened to Caleb, it's happening other places, and they're not going to handle Caleb's case any different, any of our other families' cases any different than the way they handled Caleb's, right? So
No, you're very correct. And so I know that it's been a path, it's a journey. You have to get to DC. There's flights, there's hotels, you name it. And it's reaching to our politicians. And again, we're not talking politics here. We're talking people. We're talking about taking care of each other. And so, but that's how you have to do it. You have to reach out that way, and you have to stand up and say, no, this is not correct. Can we discuss this, number one? And I need to make changes, and I'm willing to work with you.
First
However,
Amendment rights.
yes, ma'am, I was going there. Everybody knows it. I always say it, freedom, the first thing on that is free. So I'm always like, number one, they don't even get paid enough as it is. To have just the general heart of, where is he? Like, what happened? Like, where'd he go? Like, I know that this guy's in my unit, like Adam, okay? He's not here multiple days. What the heck here? Hit his head. And there's a lot. Listen, 75% of our military serving are killed, active duty, 75% on
Of
U.S.
that
soil.
of that 75%, 94% die on U.S. soil. 94%.
Yes, ma'am. And
On a
that
base
number
person.
is
That
blows
is
me away.
congressional research that you can find on by Googling it. I can give it to you. I have it on Caleb's his webpage.
And I have that up down here for
CalebSmither.com.
everybody. And it's PV2. Is that how you have it?
No, it's CalebSmither.com.
Okay, we want to make sure because we'll be
yeah.
podcast as well. So everybody listening.
CalebSmither.com.
Yes, ma'am.
And just also on that note, on some research, the GAO research that they did in 2020, I think it's 2019 actually, and it says 1 out of 6 of our medical facilities, military medical facilities, like the Womack Army Hospital, has certified staff. 1 out of 6 certified staff on any military medical installation. That is ridiculous. And this is why we have to shift. When I read those statistics, when I educated myself on those statistics, I was blown away. And like I said before, as an educator, with taking care of our kids, our community, I cannot sit there and not share that and not be completely startled and know what happened to my son and how his case was being treated and swept under the rug. And I'm just, so grateful to my congressman for being a true brother.
And that's Mr. Jodey Arrington for everybody that will be listening. We will be on multiple podcasts tomorrow, Heather. This will be an audio version that will go out to iHeart, Apple, multiple channels. Right now, we're audio and video, so they are able to see you and hear everything you're saying. We're going to make sure this gets on all of our channels, which are for you to go listen to. It takes 24 hours to load for our podcast. We will have it on each of those channels. Heather, we were together all day, right? We just did the meet and greet for Gold Star Family Survivor Outreach Services. Again, I'm saying it, Fort Hood. We have to come together. We have to have each other's backs. We can't, as just an individual human being in my heart, I can't see something and then be okay. I can't see it and not say, what can I do to help? I've just always been that way. So I know what you're talking about. From day one, I literally and we're not going to get into my story, but that's at twostepback.com.
Well,
But I do
well,
know because of meeting you, and when I met you, you did not have a lot of this information, and I was just like, wait
I
a
did
minute,
not.
this is what we need to do because you should have your FOIA. You should have all this information. And so
I have had
it's
to learn a
great
lot of
resources,
things.
man. Yes. I mean, Heather, it was what, 1 year ago today? Adam's birthday's the Sergeant Two Step, my son. It was literally, we were at Fort Hood and they have this room with all the
It's
pictures
true,
of
we
the
were.
fallen.
That's so crazy.
I
Yes.
looked in the back of the envelope and in behind their pictures, and you have to see this room. We have pictures that will go out. Everybody go to Patriots Inside the Wire on Facebook. I mean, we're everywhere, but you'll see the pictures on Facebook. And you can check out Patriots Inside the Wire. It's a military broadcast. But you'll be able to see all of this. I'll zoom in a minute. I do have something for you. I met Heather multiple times. She came to town and she crawls up in the bed with me and we'll watch a movie or just talk about how, what can we do and how do we make it better and how do we not let anyone else
It's
ever
such
go through this. And what it is, Heather, is it was literally a year ago to this day. I opened up the envelope. So today at Fort Hood, we had 3 Army sons all in a row. One is Heather, one is myself, and the other is Miss Margie Taylor for her son Joey Lenz. So we had that. It'll be done quarterly, but to be there in person now, Heather, I opened the back of that envelope. Do you remember us being there 1 year ago, almost to the day? You had walked out of that room. I looked in the envelopes that we did. We hung our pictures of our sons together 1 year ago before that. And I looked in the envelope that was in there, and we had put the legislation for Adam, and we kissed literally the message that we wanted to put in there. And then I was looking for 24 cents because that means together forever. That was his jersey number. When I opened it, Heather, I saw your message and what we did 1 year ago to the day. You weren't in the room, and I thought, oh my goodness, I did not realize this. 1 year ago, we did that. And after that, I remember sitting with you, and you weren't near this part. What you've done is accomplished to get through to the Army to understand that we need to check on our brothers and sisters in arms. That is the Smitty check, folks. Smitty check. Let's check on each other. I'm going to go a little bit further and say, civilian world and anywhere in my book, if you haven't heard from me, call, text, something. Check on your friends, check on your family. And I look at SWAT, I look at other people and I say, you know what? You don't see me for a while, text me. There's usually something going on. And usually, I mean, we're okay. But there should be no reason that there's no contact whatsoever like that. So Smitty checks
The link of
is
human kindness.
Smitty. And so, Heather, one last question for you. Where did you come up with this name, Smitty? Because I get it all the time when they say, "Why two-step, Tracy?" Yeah.
Caleb called himself Smitty. His last name is Smither. He just
Okay.
like his friends, athletic friends would always call him Smitty. He was just he felt more himself when he was being called Smitty. He I found his like McDonald's name tag, like his work name tags, and he had put Smitty on there. It's
Aw,
who he saw himself as,
you
and
got it.
he definitely like was just a ray of sunshine and the epitome of love, and he just beamed human kindness. So that maybe people can feel that, when they see, our Smitty Check logo, when they see his face, they see the brightness of it. And that's why it's just tap into a little bit of that human kindness and radiate it out to your brothers and your sisters, because that's what it's all about. Check on your brothers and your sisters.
It
Smitty
is.
Check.
It is. I have something I'm going to pull up here. A couple of things for you. We do have. Bear with me here. There's quite a bit that's being loaded. The press release is right here that you can see. Anybody that's watching right now, this is the press release. This is today. This is from today. Arrington urges support of the NDAA amendments honoring Lubbock veteran Caleb Smither. This happened while we were at Fort Hood putting our son's pictures today.
I didn't
And
even know
it
it
was
was
like,
happening.
I was like, what is going on here? And it was just like, you've got to be kidding me. So the timing,
Yeah,
it's like I'm around you. Like
very
last year when
auspicious.
we were like, okay, what do we need to do now? Like, what steps are we going to take? Like, what about this one? Because it's like us trying to help each other. Like, where else do you go to literally get a law or to get some change done? Well, I put on my pants like everybody else and I go and I say, hey, yeah, I need to talk to you.
There's
So
there's
it's
strategy behind it. I would
there is
say it's a
strategy.
I would say it's like a poker game or a chess, chess match.
It
And you
is
have to bring your charm and your brightness and kindness and with you, because you can catch more flies with honey. And I just attribute a lot of it to just that being a Texas Army mom.
yes, ma'am. Yes,
I
ma'am.
think that
I'm
we
going
are
to
a
show
different breed of
something.
code.
You got it. And I've always got your back forever.
That's
When we
right.
needed someone at Military Moms of Texas to keep checking in on there because we still have our active duty we care about. We've got veterans in there. We've got all sorts of people. So we're very grateful for those that do stick by. Um, Again, Heather, what is happening right now, I want to make sure the audience is clear when you say NDAA, and I'm pulling that up because what happens is our civilian world or just people in general who maybe haven't tried to get something done, they don't understand the terms that we use. So,
Right, right,
um,
right.
so if you want to tell them
The
NDAA, I won't say it.
National
Thank you.
National Defense Authorization Act.
Thank
It's
you.
just how our military is the boundaries and perimeters, the how
It's
it
how it
functions
works.
and what it's legally able to do, and just the
Yes, ma'am.
guidelines and boundaries. So
Smitty check.
we're writing it. The SMITI check is written into the language of the NDAA right now, along with, like I mentioned, that other bit about the not the contractor having to be disclosed, whether it's a civilian or military contractor or doctor, that is, if there's medical malpractice involved, they have to disclose, whether it is a military doctor or a civilian doctor.
Contracted. So Heather, in your case with Smitty, it was a contracted individual. So that's what happens, folks on bases out there
Well,
is
one of them was anyway.
right.
It's
So you can have
there's some.
contracted individuals that aren't actually in the military. And in Heather's case, that is what happens. So you have to deal with a whole nother set of situations. So um, what I am is grateful that you are the warrior mother that you are. What I am is also a little sad because I know that hole that's there from your firstborn son. Um, we had a
Yeah,
sibling with us today who Heather's there and we're doing this and I as well. But everyone's heard me on here say uh Gold Star Family Foundation. That's who we are. And you know why I say that? You saw it today, Heather. A sibling of someone that signed up to serve all of a sudden is like, well, where's my brother? Where's my like wait or sister. My case is brother. Yours is too, Heather. I know that you have a sibling, and so when I find others and they agree with, I'm like, thank you. Do you understand? I'm not talking about marriages and children. What I'm talking about is our military age when they can join is very young. They can't even drink yet. So you go in, they've left home. Yes, there are younger children at home. And so Cash was able to be there today and here, and we had a reporter and this reporter was just glued and looking. She barely asked questions because it was just like all there. And she got it and she knew
she was
it.
just trying to
And
take it all in.
she also had to take it all in. It is a lot to take. I went in, I was like, we're moving this, we're doing this. We are going to get this to happen. And again, thank you to James out there with SOS. We are very fortunate to have people that will go that extra mile and do something even when they aren't supposed to, maybe. And I don't mean he did. I mean, sometimes you got to have somebody who will stand up, speak up, and say, you know what? This is not right. So I know in your case, I know Smitty will. I know Two Step, obviously my son. Fighters to the core. If their brothers were not around them, I'm telling you right now, I know my son would have been like, where the blank are you, dude? And then come looking and calling. And
Absolutely.
so, unfortunately, you get moved around a lot in the military. Like you're not at home. You're not from that area. Things happen outside the base too. So that was a big topic today. The reporter just kept looking at us going, wow, I never thought about that part either. And we were like, yeah. I mean, as far as military goes, as soon as they get out of that base, you're dealing with civilian world. However, you're not. You're government property. You're government property. You still have to follow the protocols. You still have to follow the parameters. And whatever's going on in that area isn't always great. So you can go in to your area where there's a base. You can say, I need to discuss some things with you. We need to blacklist several areas to protect our service members serving in that area. And trust me, there are some things that need to be done. And it was that easy when I did it. Now, wait a minute. I always say easy, and I know I'm going to get teased by I know who, JMG. But when I say easy, I mean, I guess because I did it and I didn't lay down. I don't mean that it's easy. I mean that it's simple to understand in your heart. Like, where is
Tracy,
this person?
can
Where
I
are
say
they?
something really quick?
Yes.
Like I you are so inspiring. Like your story, thank you so much for like being the link of the chain that was missing for me, and where I felt like I just didn't have support. You have been so supportive. You've showed me a lot of compassion. You showed me the ropes in a lot of areas. There's other moms that have walked this path before me as well that have, you know, showed me that I can be courageous, and that I don't have anything to lose, and so
It's
I'm
called
grateful
Honor the
for
Fallen.
you guys. Yeah, just that are heart, strong ladies before me. Like I'm walking kind of in your light as well. Just thanks so
Yeah,
much
and
for
I take it further
encouraging
because
me.
we have siblings, fathers. SWAT, I mean, I know, thank God you're here. Um, but yes, as a mother, man, like, how do you lose your kid and still understand that we have to let people know, hey, wait, we matter too. Like, wait a minute, just hang in there. We need to explain something to you. This Gold Star thing is not a good thing. It is not a sticker. It is what we're called, and we didn't pick it. We are not with a organization that is anywhere out there except ours, which is Gold Star Family Foundation. That is what we're talking about, and Fallen Heroes Foundation. I have to make that very clear. We have a Gold Star committee and multiple of us. You are one of those people, Heather. So when I met you, I don't think I did much. I just think listening and understanding like how to work as a lobbyist, as a mom,
Hmm.
add those two together. That's a little interesting. Okay, and your heart has to you have to keep it together. You have to be able to get I'm talking 3 minutes, 8 minutes, 11 minutes. Whenever I testify, you get minutes. That's what you get. We don't get an hour. But Smitty checks, everyone listen to me. Smitty checks out here. Let me show you something really quick. You can look right behind me right now, please. And you will see, I hope you can see it under Sergeant Two Step there. There is PV2 Caleb right there, Mr. Smitty himself. There is a red sign right there that is hashtag Smitty checks. Let's check, people. Come on. I don't want to have to keep telling you this. This is basic common sense. Thank you, Heather, for all your fighting. The things that you have accomplished today are unbelievable. I do have multiple things here. There's Jodey Arrington. Jodey Arrington, thank you for all that you've done for us. Thank you to all who serve and have served. The Smitty check is here. Look at this. Smitty check got your back. It's Angel Wings behind that guy, and that is your son. And I have to say to you, thank you for raising one of our true heroes. Heroes don't wear capes, okay? They wear combat boots, right? Or if I'm talking police or somewhere, right now we're talking about military. And so I think the only thing I've ever known is just get up, go do it, and take care of it. I just didn't know another way. So I don't know how much I helped. Thank you for that. But I just want to make sure that everybody understands it's there. So Smitty check was not an easy journey. I'm still on my journey as far as my son. Like that is not an easy journey. So I commend you for that. And as a mother, and everybody out there right now, Heather's at my house. She's literally at my house. So in a minute, she'll come in as we do music. Yeah, we will be doing music. Heather, so the secret is out. The secret's out because in the singer-songwriting world, Heather knows that I am also a part of that genre. And we've had many, many conversations about why I stopped and what I need to do as far as singing, and came up again today. So I was talking about SWAT. I was like, well, meeting SWAT and, firsthand account of a veteran that literally was at the same base my son was at. I mean, come on. Like, there's so many things in common, and pounding the same dirt in Iraq. I mean, it's almost like, and I remember SWAT said to me one time, he said, well, they do memorial trees out there at Fort Stewart when they're killed, right, SWAT?
That's correct.
Do you remember this? And I said, no, SWAT, they don't. Not for my son. And you were like, what? And I said, no, they don't do it for the ones that are killed on U.S. soil. So, and mine was killed. And so, because yours, Heather. What I'm trying to tell you is, no, they don't. So, whereas it should be that way, because again, we're talking 94% are on U.S. soil who leave us when they're serving. You're going to tell me that signing up for the ultimate sacrifice with your life, our freedoms, our rights, the rights to the report, the rights to a free speech, everything we vote for, you're going to tell me that when he signed that and he went in, and my son went to war and did all this. Now someone comes in doing things that are illegal, things shouldn't have happened to other people. People should have checked on people. My situation, people were doing all kinds of things wrong they shouldn't have been doing. You will never be able to tell me anything different. I will always go and say, that's not okay. We're going to take care of each other. And Heather, I can't wait to learn more. I already do know more, but I can't wait to have you on more. We are going to have Heather on a lot more, as a matter of fact. So we were discussing that today about being put on the spot, and do I need to just go for it, or and we're talking about singing, songwriting. SWAT, you know me, I'm a night person. I sit up and I'll write 2 or 3 songs, and it's just what my creative time is. But SWAT here is the same, Heather, as far as like singer songwriting. Songwriting is what I call music is medicinal. He hears me say that. I'm like, to me, music is therapeutic. It's medicinal. I would love to see that our Gold Star families, I know that there are Operation Song, Operation Encore, things that are out there for our veterans. And look, I want everything for our veterans. Don't take this wrong. But what about giving that same thing? And I have people that argue with me on this. I understand that people are married and they have kids. And believe me, there are a lot of programs for them if something happens, and I thank God for that. But there aren't any for the other side. It's like, wait a minute. I mean, even if he's just himself, and
you're talking about the siblings.
Siblings, not just the siblings, like in life. SWAT, like he mentioned, the memorial trees. There is no memorial anything for Adam at Fort Stewart because he was killed illegally on his way to Afghanistan. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You seriously? Do you know how many soldiers like got in touch with me at the very beginning, and they were so torn up by no service, no nothing. We're heading to Afghanistan. Get it out of your head. You know what I was told? You have blood on your hands, Tracy. You came here and you spoke, and I had a great table of people there. His unit literally was leaving for Afghanistan. So you have a rear D in the Army, you have the base. I walked right in. And this reminds me of SWAT Senior right here. I walked right in and said, get him, get him, get him, her, let's go. We're going to a table. We're going to work this right here. I'm not going to leave, or I'll bring the media and we can go that route too, because I've done that. So let's all try to work together. Let me figure it out and let me explain to you what happened, because I don't think you really know everything that really happened. And trust me, they didn't. So everybody's story is different, but we have to start recognizing everybody that served. I mean, come on. Like, that is why I'm right now on multiple stations and talking, and I get to say, well, in Tracy's world, I get to say whatever I want. So I always say, look, if I lost a son who was serving for our rights in this country, I've already lost too much. Now, I have my rights and I'm going to use those. I'm going to vote. I'm going to do the things I need to do to make things better. I can't bring it back, but this is going to help other people. So, Heather, what you've done is the exact same thing. I wish I could bring him here for you. I know in whatever belief that anyone has, that's fine. But for me, it's there. And I know he's here. He watches over, and that makes me feel better. Am I okay? No, I'm not a liar. I'm sorry. I just can't do the white light. Like, I can't. I'm not that kind of person. I'm really bad at that. I'm not PC. So Heather, all of his pictures are behind me right now. SWAT, I brought that up only just to remind people that actually, no, there is no memorial thing there at Fort Stewart, because unless you're overseas. Now, soon we will be bringing you information, not only more of what's going on with Miss Heather Baker, but what's going on in this world to correct some things that need to be corrected and take care of our people. So we're not going to get into that, but I'm going to tell you that when you have warriors fighting, and so with Gold Star Committee, Gold Star Family Foundation, Patriots Inside the Wire, Military Moms of Texas, I will be able to get you something soon.
We just want to make sure that everybody is honored, and whether you're combat or non-combat, you
Yes,
should be
ma'am.
honored. And so we just want to
agree.
especially kind of vamp on using a music term there, vamp on. We just kind of want to vamp on these non-combat death families, and let them know like they are
Well,
valuable.
Heather, do you know how hard it
Their
is for
hero has
people?
a story and a legacy. So.
Well, Heather, you know this. We've been together and it's happened before. Today. Well, what's Gold Star Family? That sounds cool. Sorry.
Not a
No,
club
it's
you want to be a
not.
part of,
And I
man.
said to Heather, I said, dang it, I want to change that to Black Star. And she started laughing at me, and I'm like, why are you laughing at me? And she goes, because I literally said the same thing, and I got a tattoo of it. And I said, what? And she did. And I was like, yep, I want to change it. So although we are Gold Star Family Foundation, we're going to keep it because we deserve it too, right? Non-combat deaths, people that are serving active duty, we deserve it too.
Our children deserve
Remember
to
them.
be
Remember them.
Just say their name, just
say their name. You got PB2 Caleb Smither. You got Sergeant Two Step, first name
it's
Adam.
important for you to say their name in their community. Like I want my community to say Caleb's name. It would be
you want to be invited
it would mean
too.
a lot. It'd mean a lot to me for them to say, "Hey, thank you, PB2 Caleb Smither, for what you did
serving
for serving our community.
Right.
You died before your time. You're a light that burned out too soon, and it was a tragic situation. And we just
Heather, do you have any more you want to give on anything you know about this Gold Star Committee, Military Moms of Texas? Do you have something you want to give out there to everybody to let them know about anything else?
Well, I just think there's some things that are coming out soon about just making sure that we're honoring all of the Gold Star families, whether combat or non-combat. Yeah,
equally. Equally, yes.
And we don't want to take away, we do not want to take away from our combat family veterans. We do not want to take
KIA.
away from
So
that. Yeah, we do
KIA,
not want, yeah,
KAG. Yeah.
right. But
Um,
Caleb, he just
like every
it's
veteran deserves to be honored, so do our service members that are serving
Caleb.
on active duty and didn't choose to take off that dang uniform.
He
Don't
didn't.
come to me and say you're not, but Patriot Fest will be doing a honorary moment where it's going to be for the Gold Star families. You know me well. SWAT's heard it a ton. Everybody knows that I'm like, okay, we're going to get music. We're going to get the bikes to come in. We've got to set up vendors. We've got Go Texan, which the commissioner, thank you again to him, in Texas, has Patriots Inside the Wire has been recommended as a Go Texan broadcast that we would like our now. Please listen from everywhere else too. Texas is just it's big, but listen, I'm not just in Texas. I actually live in 2 states, but I just want you to know that we do have several people that have our back. But yes, it took a whole lot of time and energy, very well spent, because if it saves someone else, then it's worth it, right?
Well, yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
lot
what
of
do you do?
advocacy.
Yeah,
It's a, I spent a long time, popping my pop guns up in the air and trying to get attention on these issues. And we've
right.
been rattling cages, and it's just lots of, before I went to DC to work hard to meet with lots of people, I would come home during lunch, while I was teaching, and spend 20 minutes on the phone every day calling DC. I'd have my list of people I had to call and make contact with. I was emailing people and going, like
It's a
following up on the
process. It's
emails,
years.
and
Yeah,
then I provided every constituent that I went to see in DC a 1-inch binder full of an abridged version of Caleb's investigation, full of
trying to get
pictures
you up
and
zoomed in.
and things that
There we go.
his
They can see that now.
his
Can you
initial
share the
counseling
picture?
form, his PT, he's only 12 points away from a perfect PT score. So I have his PT record, right here. Um, I've got letters that we've sent in. This here is the original. This is what they sat down and gave me when they came to see me at my congressman's office. It says here, this is what started the whole thing. They sat across the table from me at Jodey Arrington's office, and they handed this, like, let's see, how many pages is it? It's 13 pages of their abridged version of what happened to my son. And on this page here, it says, on page 11, it says actions taken. Before, it says no standard protocol in place to check on an injured soldier. That's their own writing. No standard protocol in place to check on an injured soldier. That's what provoked the Smitty check. So,
I'm glad you
yeah, like
pull
it's
that up.
just
I wanted to.
there's just there's just so much here. Letters, and I mean, here's the original letter that Jodey Arrington and Ted Cruz wrote to the Secretary of the Army to get the Army Secretary to please speak to me, number one, and then reopen Caleb's case as well. And she did within less than a year, Tracy, because like you said, you
Hmm.
were here at Fort Hood,
We
Fort
were there a
Cache
year ago
Cavazos
today, and
a
I didn't
year
realize it.
ago. It wasn't even Fort Cavazos. No, it was Fort Cavazos.
Was it? Yeah, I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
still stuck on
it
Hood.
had just turned Cavazos. But I mean, like, it's
I'm Hood.
amazing to me, like that it's that's why I say it's a miracle. But check this out. This is what they sent home to me. Caleb is laying in a body bag underneath that beautiful uniform, and he should be wearing it. Had his battle buddies actually checked on him, and they were spraying. This is another just edge to the story, but his roommate was spraying Febreze to cover up the smell of his dead body in the
Heather, was
investigation.
he in the like living in the?
He was living in the barracks.
Okay, so he had a roommate in there. That's a small room, right, SWAT? How small is a room in there?
It's
Well,
small enough.
That's what I thought.
it's he lived in a small quarters where they was shared, like a bathroom, and then they had separate rooms with separate key card entries. So it's kind of like a tiny little apartment, living quarters where they have a common area and stuff. But yeah, so Caleb hadn't come out of his room in 6 days, over 6 days. His roommate spraying Febreze and saying he's it's funny, he's saying he doesn't know what the smell of a dead body smells like. And then in another investigation he said he does. And like
This is
I
the
said,
roommate.
a rat and a mouse have a very strong odor, like stronger than I want to live with on just that level, a rat or a mouse. You can imagine a human body.
Was there anything that so this
So,
roommate, for instance, I don't understand that part. Like
no. There's a lot of
who
things
and
I
how,
still
and
don't
are they still serving? Are they still
understand.
serving? Did they stay in?
I think they are still serving, yes.
Okay.
Uh, Nobody has lost their job. Um, People have been reprimanded. There are some people that were held accountable after the Army Secretary was able to,
Get
handle
involved.
the situation, get
Yeah.
involved. And so there are some other people that are, I'm not sure what their punishments are. I think we will find out some of those answers at some point. But of course, I can't divulge names, and they won't. Even if I do know the names, which I
Yeah,
do,
you don't need to do
mostly
that.
I cannot. I can't
Yeah.
divulge. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Yeah.
they don't want me to specifically know. Like,
I understand. I was just wondering about those barracks, how small they were, and if a roommate has to spray Febreze and knows that someone's in that bed, how does that even? I can't understand that one. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. It's simple, decent human kindness and heart. My
it's
heart,
shocking.
the recent song that I wrote, Heartstrings, is true. It's called Broken Heart Syndrome. Happened to me. They were like, oh my God, she's having a heart attack. I wasn't, but the cardiologist swore in the emergency room. He's like, my God, her heart rate's like 280 something. She's having a heart attack, and they're doing all these things to me. And they said, it's your heart. And there's something called broken heart syndrome, and you have strings attached. And what's happening to you right now is because when you lost your son, it's literally tearing your heart. Literally. I wasn't having a heart attack. It was my heartstrings literally were being torn. And I had to go get some rest. You know that. Stepped out a little bit and decided that, you know what, I got to take care of myself. So I want you to do the same thing. I don't want you to stop, but I do want you to take care of you. We've had plenty of talks about that. And then let's honor for everyone listening out there. Remember Smitty checks. We will have Heather on again to give us a follow up of many things. As a matter of fact, we've got more information coming that we will get into on a different episode on a
I'm
different
excited
subject.
to hear this music.
I bet you are. Now,
I'm
Heather, do you want to come in here or do you want to stay where you're at? You're welcome to do either. You can hold Caleb's picture right here. It's sitting right by me. If you'd
okay.
like to come in the studio and SWAT, I'm going to ask you. We love you. Shout out CalebSmither.com. Caleb is with a C. CalebSmither.com. CalebSmither.com. Please go there and find that information. If you can't find it, look us up. We will be sure to get you something. Thank you to Jodey Arrington. Everything you did today. We are just, our hearts are there. I'm going to do something real quick. SWAT, while she's walking and before you get to singing, let's try to do something real quick. Stand by. I'm going to share this with you real quick. Here we go. And take a look, people.
At this time, I'd like to yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Arrington. The gentleman from Texas is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman. A young man by the name of Caleb Smithers, his dream was to serve in the United States Army. All of his childhood, he got the chance to serve. Literally months into his service, his training at Fort Bragg, he had a serious accident. And because the safety protocols weren't there to check on a soldier who had such a serious injury, because there weren't accountability measures for private contractors for healthcare services to the Army, this young man ended up dying. I think his life could have been saved if those protocols were in place and if the accountability measures were in place. I think the Secretary of Army has all but affirmed that. And so this provision would put those things in place, or would expect that the Army does, and we would defer to their best judgment on how to do it. And so this young man's life, and his mother here, Heather, who has worked diligently, relentlessly, with the unconditional love for her son, that not only would his spirit live on of service, but would actually save the lives of other soldiers who would find themselves in the same predicament. I think we all care about our soldiers, our sons and daughters in uniform, and that we would want the abundance of precaution so that we would prevent this from happening. Those checks, by the way, in the future, if this should pass, would be called SMITIES after Caleb Smithers. And I ask my colleagues for their support. I yield back.
Thank you so much for that, SWAT. What just happened there? We don't want to talk about Biden. I apologize for that. Not for any reason, but that we're focusing on a soldier. That was interesting. That popped up after that. Heather's right by me here now, and you can see beside her, you've got multiple pictures. She has, hold up Caleb's picture there for me here. And she's got Smitty check, hashtag Smitty check right there. And let's see, Caleb's, it's right behind you here, but it's hard to see it. Here you go. I'll pull it into view here. Can you see that, SWAT? There he is. Better, right there. There he is. So right here with me in the room, in the studio, there's Adam's head above her. So Sergeant Two-Step, she's in the room now. You've got a little bit of reverb, but that's okay. What we're going to do right now is say thank you for coming on. Smitty check, Smitty check, Smitty check. Don't forget about this. Check on your people. Thank you, Mr. Arrington, for everything that you're doing, and the other offices that do work with us. What we'd like to do, because it's echoing right now, we may want to mute there we go. No problem. I say, SWAT, I'm going to say thank you, Heather, for everything that you've done, all the liberty and justice for all our rights, and taking care of the next individuals that will go in. Again, my son won't be joining, my other son, but I do appreciate everyone that does. So again, thank you to all those that serve and have served. Let's all continue to work together, and we can make a difference. I promise you it can be done. It's hard, but we can do it. No matter what it is, have their backs, have someone's back, check in on them. Please take care of each other out there. If there's any other time in this world that we need to say, and to me, again, I have to do this. And that's me, and that doesn't mean you have to copy me, because I don't want a bunch of me all around. I don't want a bunch of robots. I'd like to have everybody just some simple, decent, human, decent kindness. So SWAT, I look at you, and as I look at you, I'm thinking, when I go to the Capitol in Austin, Texas this year, I might be calling Mr. SWAT Sr. and saying, you don't walk in that door with me, sir? Or as I'm testifying, I can tell you right there, I know for a fact, he'd stand there and say, well, it'd be pretty interesting. I know that one. I don't even know. Like one day you could tell me, SWAT, what he would probably say, but I can guarantee you he's got some words that he would love to share.
He probably wouldn't even know until he walked in.
Oh, right. Okay. I like that. I like it. What are you thinking tonight? You know me. You know what I'm going to tell you.
I'm going to change it up a little bit. You know, this is so I'd like to dedicate this to you, Tracy, and to you, Heather, both as Gold Star moms. Heather, this was the very, very, very first song I ever wrote, like full song, and I actually wrote it while I was in the military. And so hopefully I'll get through it without choking up. But I'd like to dedicate this not only to y'all, but to all the Gold Star moms out there, especially those that have service members that are serving right now. So this is for y'all. She was there the first time he knocked one out of the park. Never missed a single football game, bought him his first guitar. Now he's all packed up, headed out, how the years go by. Accepted to a 4-year school, and as he says goodbye, watch his mama cry as he drives away, searching for a brand new life and to find his own way. And mama tries to leave him with a smile, but he dies a little more every time. Watch his mama cry. She was there the day he pulled his boots on tight. The orders finally came in, yeah, they're shipping out tonight. Now he's all packed up, headed out, how the years go by. As she straightens up his helmet, they finally say goodbye. Watch his mama cry as he flies away, not knowing what this time this war bring his way. But mama tries to leave him with a smile, but it hurts from inside every time he watches mama cry. Though he's a grown man now, in the back of her mind will always be that little boy, and that it ain't no crime. Watching mama cry. Watching mama cry. Mama tries to leave him with a smile, but it hurts deep down inside every time. Watch his mama cry. Watching mama cry.
Watch his mama cry. Love you.
Couldn't even almost get through without choking up.
Oh, SWAT, you got Z. Like literally, how do we show Z? Z just literally when you were singing, like her dog, and you should see his full get up, literally, like unbelievable. Um, Service dog, and that song SWAT was unbelievably fitting. And Heather, you know I love you. And yes, you had two mamas crying, SWAT. um, but you know what I am is I am grateful to someone like you that's a veteran and says, you know what? Let's do the right thing. Let's take care of each other. SWAT, you know, I mean, now what we all know is you're not just looking at Tracy. I want you to look. Um, there's others out there. So, um, SWAT, sum it up. This is just
You know, it's what you always say, Tracy and Heather. I'm sure Tracy's already informed you and let you know, but you're part of the family now. And you're always, of course, welcome here at Patriots Inside the Wire. But, you and Tracy have that special bond. And just like Tracy and I have that special bond. So you're part of it now, whether you want to be or not. You're part of the crazy family. Thank you so
Exactly.
much. Thank you so much for sharing
Did
Smitty's
you say
story.
crazy or Tracy?
A little bit of both, but
Oh.
Thanks to all your listeners.
Well, yes.
All the listeners, they know that this is, we're all tight knit here. We all look out for each other, and of course, kind of circling back, that's what Smitty was all about, and that's what the Smitty checks are all about. And you know what? You are 100% right. If he was here right now, that's exactly what he would want, and he is paying it forward every day. And in the long run, it is going to save a lot of lives, and it's just an inspiration. And thank you for everything you do every day. Seriously.
Swat, I couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us at the last minute tonight. We needed to get that information out. Thank you to Congressman Jodey Arrington, Mr. Jodey Arrington, for standing up for those like we should. And hashtag Smitty Check. Don't forget about that. You can check that out again at calebsmither.com. Starts with a C, calebsmither.com. Got your back. There he is right there with his wings. Here he is with his mother right now. And here she is right here with Mr. Jodey Arrington. He is Representative Jodey Arrington, and he is right here out of Texas. Thank you so much for all you've done. Thank you for who you are. Smitty check, Smitty check, Smitty check. Like, check on your people, please. Check in with your people, too. There are those of us that maybe just need a check-in, right? And even if I send SWAT a message and he just clicks the thumb or something, at least I know, hey, he saw something and somebody's responding. So it means a lot. I mean, we don't cry like we want to be included. We'll be there. Like SWAT's heard me a ton of times because SWAT, they don't want to invite us because they think we're going to be downers or, there's other groups, but we're just not in a group. We're family, like you said it. So Gold Star Family Foundation again and Fallen Heroes Foundation is all patriotsinsidethewire.com. Patriotsinsidethewire.com. You can get more there. But again, for Caleb, those Smitty checks that are going to come in for every other mama and every other one that's coming in, that is huge. So, and I'm going to say go further with that Smitty check and check. Like, hey, SWAT, check on me every now and then because, hey, I'm not going to lie. Like, it's rough. So one thing that I know, SWAT, is your family say thank you again. I know that y'all have done prayers and you've said, I'm family, and I don't even think that y'all, if I could let you feel what that is like, and your mom and your dad, I wish I could. And one day I will be with them too. But you let them know that I said, you being here tonight, you doing what you just did in the song, and for two moms, you got to cry, not in a bad reason, but because of your heart, that they raised you very, very well. And chivalry was dead when we were on the base. I'm telling you right now, it was all gone. I was like, wait a minute, what happened to the cowboy code or the gentleman code or something over here? But Smitty checks, come on, let's check on our own people. Check on your brothers and sisters in arms. You're on that base. It doesn't have to be a commander. I mean, literally, you notice, like, just go check. Sometimes all you got to do is be like, hey, man, or hey, lady, hey, friend. There's a lot of ways you could say it, right? Now, I'm not PC. We know this. So I'm just saying, include them all. Everybody that is signed, that is not something that's easily done. It's 1% sign up and serve this country. So thank you for that. Thank you for your service, SWAT. It's always been the reason that I continue and keep going on is because of you and your family who give me that. They got my back. Like, I can take that deep breath and I know that I'm okay. So thank you for that. Thank you for your song. SWAT, we got to get that one out now. So I'm going to make her listen to Red Mexico again so we can laugh. And and what's it called? Get the Loco and the Modelo. Let's get the Modelo on cold. And ay ay ay. Yeah. We were doing that today, by the way, Swat. So she has heard it, and we were like, ay 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 ay, Ria Ria. So we were laughing, Swat, about in a good way. Like I love that song. It's like I am claiming that one. And so she did too. So we were like 2-for-1 margaritas, Texaco's, used car lots. I mean, come on, man. It doesn't get better than that, right? And maybe that's just because I'm a simple country person. But listen, the basics are all I need. The basics. Up there, people checking on each other, our hearts, and doing the right thing. So again, thank you for joining us tonight. And remember, this is a podcast that's going to go out. Brent says he needed this show tonight. Thank you, Brent. You always join us, and you know what? We got your back too. So thank you for being here. Heather just said thank you too. If you can hear her, I hope so. And they say thank you for teaching the kids. Brent, thank you so much. Barbara Bailey wants you to know. Great job, Heather. Love you so much. We've got Margie Taylor up here. Thank you, Heather. Great job. We've got multiple here. So thank you for everyone that's joining. Again, this will go out as a podcast. It also stays on YouTube. It stays on other channels as audio and video. Again, you can check out the website, calebsmither.com. Smitty checks to find out more. And again, at patriotsinsidethewire.com, we'll be adding something too really soon. So patriotsinsidethewire.com, we thank you for joining us tonight. Please share this information, like, subscribe. We have something for you here at the end that we always like to go with, because if you know me by now, I'm always saying, what about the family? What about the kid? What about the sibling? Like, what are we doing there? So everybody right now knows that I feel that way because of a certain reason, and it's his little brother, right, Swat? So Swat's working on something right now for our intro, everybody. And what we're doing. And I'm like, I want it loud. I want a cadence. I want it like in your face, shouting. And we're going to take you here right now. Listen to this.
Thank you for watching another episode of Patriots Inside the Wire, hosted by Gold Star Mom, Tracy Two-Step. Help us broaden our reach. Like, subscribe, and share.
There you have it. That's a sibling right there. That is my brother. My brother, Sergeant Adam, my brother Two-Step. That he is. So let's take care of each other. Let's remember. Come on, man. It's the basics right here. It's right in the good book, okay? Thank you again with Patriots Inside the Wire tonight for joining us. And I know it's been a long episode, but it was a breaking news. It was a special episode because literally, again, when Jodey Arrington got on that floor today and was speaking, we were all at Fort Hood and going, what the heck? Like, are you kidding me? Like, we're all in the same room and like this is happening. So the accountability and Smitty check. Remember that for us as you're listening on our podcast, whether it's Apple, iHeart, you can go to every Spotify. Look at patriotsinsidethewire.com. Again, do me another favor. John Swat Music, John Swat Band. But John Swat is everywhere on every channel too. So not only is he on patriotsinsidethewire.com, take the music and what you have to do on Spotify, Apple. There's a lot of things you have to do for an artist these days digitally. You have to put it on your playlist. Literally. You can't just go like. You've got to like, subscribe, share, put it on your playlist. So whether you're on YouTube and what you're doing, subscribe to that. And if you turn off notifications, you can turn them off. But what we're saying is that's what happens nowadays. And music is very medicinal. It's a part of my life. It always has been. SWAT, same thing. And another secret that you all don't know, Heather's too. So we got some stuff coming. So when we get Patriot Fest rolling, not only that, Heather's telling me I just need to put on my boots, and because I wear boots a lot, and I just need to go for it and quit being scared about singing again. And I'm like, you know what? I guess you're right. If I can fight, you know what? let me write songs for a little while. SWAT will keep you singing, and then when I'm 100% like, yeah, I'm ready, I'll do it. How's that, right? I'll do the hosting, I'll do the writing. But again, this team is not just us. This is the SWATners, the SWAT family. This is JMT. This is patriotsinsidethewire.com. This is Gold Star Family Foundation, Fallen Heroes Foundation. We don't want to ever forget. We never forget them, and we honor them all. Thank you for joining us on patriotsinsidethewire.com. SWAT, again, beautiful. Thank you for what you've done. Love the cue sticks back there. Remember, we've got a game of pool that we're going to play, and we're going to see what happens because I have hustled in some pool before. So can't wait. I love it. It's another therapeutic thing for me. So thank you for joining us. Everyone that hustled to get this show out tonight and sticking by us. And comments just keep coming. So I'm like, I hate to cut you off here. But thank you. Thank you again. I do see your messages here. Brent, again. Yes. Thank you for all responders. Thank you for everyone out there. Share patriotsinsidethewire.com. Patriots Inside the Wire military broadcast is on Facebook. That's pretty easy. YouTube, you'll find it. We're literally on every one of those channels and others. And we have something else coming to you. So here soon, be on the lookout. But for now, we're going to have to say good night. Thank you for joining us. And patriotsinsidethewire.com. If you'd like to be on our show or you have something that you would like to submit, all you have to do is go to patriotsinsidethewire.com. There is a space there you can fill out. You can send that to us, and you can get your story here right on our show. So thank you to Go Texan. Thank you to everyone out there who supports us as well. SWAT, last words?
Just thank you, everybody, for joining us. Heather, thank you for sharing Smitty's story. And,
Yes.
we will see you guys next time. Just remember, do your Smitty checks, and we're going to be doing it with each other. And thank y'all so much again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I say the same thing. I know Heather does too. Thank you for joining us out there. Thank you for listening, going to our podcast as well. Even if it's long, I promise you this is worth it. So thank you so much, Heather. Smitty check, Smitty check, Smitty check. Okay. Got to get that in the head. Smitty check. That means check. Check on them. Too much technology right now to tell me that you can't check on somebody. So there's a lot of ways you could do that. So again, thank you for joining us. PatriotsInsideTheWire.com. Say their name. Never forget. Let's honor. Let's do more. Let's take better care of each other. Thank you. And tonight, good night. We'll see you soon.